welcome back. Thanks for joining us again this week. So, we just received back this car, 39 Chevy two-door sedan. So this car, we actually probably did, I guess what I would say, a 75% build on it back in the 90s. We started on this car in the early, like 96, late 95, early 96. It was painted when it came to us, but it wasn't running, it wasn't driving, it wasn't upholstered, it wasn't wired. So we did a bunch of stuff on it after it came to us. And long story short, got the car done, customer goes off, moves out of state, this, that, and the other as time progresses, and he ends up selling the car. And then several years ago, his youngest daughter was fixing to get married. She said she wanted to have this car back to ride off in the wedding. And he found the car sitting in the same warehouse in the same location it was that he had sold it 11 years prior. Customer, original owners owned it, re-owned it this second time for about 6-7 years, but he's been having some issues. It's just a dated car. So the car is here for us to, one of the things that we had done back then, and it's just because of the technology and what was available, we put some, back then it was called Air Ride Technologies, but now the company's called Ride Tech, and we put some helper airbags on the rear leaf springs, and the pump and the gauge and the control system is finally just gone out, not working. We got to update that. It's got an older brand from the 90s. A company, there used to be a company called Rodtronics that did the remote controls and stuff like that. They're no longer in business, so we're going to be swapping that out. We'll be going with some Streetworks, new solenoids and new remotes, new control system on that, updating that. The headliner material, we had used a cloth-based headliner material back then when we did the interior, and it's just 30 years of dry rot and everything, so we're going to be changing that out. Now, one of the things he wants us to do is to go to a kind of newer style, solid one-piece type headliner. So we'll be bringing y'all along with us on that adventure as we fabricate and build all the structure and convert this over to a one-piece style headliner. Car is dated. It's got some tweed in it. It's got some leather in it. So that'll kind of give you an idea how far back this one was upholstered. The hood, we actually designed and built our own hinges that flip out over the front. We'll show you that. It's a fiberglass hood, but we built all of that stuff, structure ourselves. You can tell how old it is. It's got the Cool Flex radiator hose on it. That's big time 80s and 90s screaming right there. We're going to do that. The car had manual rack and pinion steering. It's an old school Mustang 2 front end with the traditional Mustang 2 lower control arms and the strut rods. We are going to put new shocks on it. We'll go with Ride Tech front and rear shocks. But I think we're going to go ahead and convert it to power steering. So we'll be changing that over, new rack, adding the power steering box, changing the steering linkage over. That we're working on that stuff also. And then there's just some other miscellaneous things for his punch list. That's kind of where we are starting off this week, and we'll bring you along on this one. We worked on this car, did probably about a 75% build on this car back in the 90s. Customer owned it, sold it, years go by, he buys it back. So it's here for us to do some updating on, some modifications, and some just maintenance on it. One of the things that he wanted, this car was built with manual rack and pinion steering. It was old school Mustang 2, and he's old enough now that he wanted to convert it over to power rack and pinion. So we've worked on that. We'll get some pictures of that and do some little clip inserts. We had to do a little cutting and modifying here and there, and we did have to put in a new core support from how the car was built to help clear the power rack. That's one of the things that we've done. This car, because when he built this car, he had 4 young children, plus he and his wife. So, truck going down back there. So one of the things that was done on this car years ago was some helper spring, airbag helper springs from Ride Tech. Back then it was called Air Ride Technologies. And that system had just gone completely out. It was 30 years old. The hoses were bad, the bags were bad, the controls were bad. So we put a whole, same style of components, but just all new and modern technology that they're using now. So we got that stuff done. As you can tell, the car has had, over the years, it's actually got a crack come up. But shaved door handles, so it had remote controls. That system had quit working. Well, the company that was used back then was a company called Rodtronics. They've been out of business for many years, so we've removed all of the old Rodtronics components and the solenoids. Actually, this had actuator motors on it, and we've updated it with a new Watson Streetworks system on that and changed out the solenoids. So we got all that up to date on the car. He's wanting to do some interior upgrades. It had a bow style headliner in it, and just over the years back then it was done with the foam padded headliner material because he just wanted a cloth style headliner. Well, over the years that deteriorates, it's falling out. That was 30 years old. So now he wants to go to a more modern one-piece style. So what we're doing here is we're working on the base structure. And I think you'll notice that in one of our older videos on the 55, we did something similar to this. And this is the base, just to give us a solid foundation to do the design to. And we'll start drawing it out. Right now we're just mocking it up with some Clecos. And it had 60-40 split power bench seat or plier seats in the front, big and bulky. That was kind of the trend back in the day. So we're going to go to some aftermarket bow and foam and fabric seat frames that I got in. And so we'll cover those up, get those mounted, come up with a pattern with the customer. And then back in the back, one of the other things, it had old school technology, and it had a CD changer back here, old style amp, and all of that has been being removed. And what we're going to do is we have a whole new stereo system that's been on order component wise, and we'll be changing it where it'll be Bluetooth compatible and we'll work with his iPhone and stuff like that. So we have those things that's going on the car. And what else? Let me hop in here and I'll just do a quick explanation of what we got going on with the headliner. Is that light gonna be an issue?
No, it's fine.
So there was 3 factory metal bows in this car from years ago, and we welded some bracing in between them to hold them in shape, and that's what we attached the original headliner to. But now that we're going to this one-piece headliner, this is 040 aluminum. We've measured it and cut it down, gave ourselves our center line. We're Clecoing it in, and then we've got about 4 different designs drawn up for the customer. We're just waiting on him to show up to pick one out. But you can't get a full sheet in here like this safely without tearing something up, so we've done it in pieces. So we brought the first piece back. It's all going to get pop riveted to all of these bows, and once it's all pop riveted, it'll actually hold a nice continuous shape. But back here, because the car drops off, we don't have that luxury of having some of those bows back here like we're wanting. So we've added this second piece, and from this last bow back, this is just going to be a little flimsier than I like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach to this rear window lip, attach this to that, and by the time we do the 3 of them, it'll take a lot of that flimsiness out of it. But our design will probably come into here somewhere, and then from here out will be leather that'll get stretched, and kind of like a traditional headliner on those components. So that's kind of where we are on the 39. We're going to keep following and actually have a full video on everything that we've done just on this car. So right at the moment, we've got word customers coming in first part of this next week. So we've got the seat mocked up at a comfortable ride height. Just got some boards in it right here holding it. Kind of got it positioned. One of the things we're done, we've positioned the seat in mid-travel. This way he'll have some adjustment forwards and backwards depending on who's driving it. We've got that. We've got the base to the headliner is currently mocked up in there, and we're gonna sketch out a couple of designs for the customer. We have a few already sketched out, and we will probably tape one of those off up in there so he'll have that to look at. And then we're going to discuss, he says, some interior design. So we may actually end up redoing what's been done. This is 30-year-old stuff that we did 30 years ago in the 90s for him. Leather and the old school tweed, as you can tell. So that's currently where we are on the project. We want to thank y'all for supporting our channel, following us. As usual, hit the like button. And if you haven't, hit that bell. I think that's what that's called, the bell on there, and you'll get the notifications of when we come out with our next video. So we're actually going to do a multi-part series on finishing out this car. Thanks again.